Mia pulled into her parents' driveway after her one-week work trip, convincing herself that nothing serious could happen in 7 days. The house looked calm, porch light glowing like any other evening. But when her mother opened the door with that bright, too-perfect smile, Mia felt her stomach tighten. "Mia," her mom chirped as if greeting a guest, not her daughter. Her father stood behind her, wearing his usual blank, uninterested stare. Then 12-year-old Ava stepped forward, eyes down, clinging to her dance bag. No smile, no excitement, no greeting. She just stood there like someone had dimmed her entire spirit. Mia knelt slightly. "Hey, sweetheart. I missed you." Ava hugged her stiffly, the way kids hug relatives they barely know. Her mom patted Mia's arm. "She's tired. Long week." But Mia knew tired didn't look like that. In the car, the silence felt heavy. She tried gently, "Did you sleep okay?" "Yeah." "Did you have fun with Grandma and Grandpa?" "Another flat." "Yeah." Mia swallowed. "How's dance?" "Your performance is soon." Ava whispered, "I'm not on the team anymore." The words hit Mia like a sudden drop. "What do you mean?" Ava didn't look up. "They kicked me out." Mia's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "Why would they do that?" Ava stared out the window, her fingers twisting the strap of her bag. "I don't want to talk about it," she murmured, a sentence that Ava never used. At home she barely touched dinner. After a long silence, Mia asked again, "Ava, what happened?" Ava's face crumpled as tears spilled fast. "Grandma said I stole," she whispered. Mia froze. "Stole what?" Ava wiped her cheeks. "Harper's dance shoes. She told everyone I took them." Mia felt her chest tighten. Why would she say that? Ava's shoulders shook. Ava told the story through small, trembling breaths. Harper, her cousin, had lost her shoes before a performance and accused Ava in panic. Later, the shoes appeared in the hallway at Mia's parents' house, though no one saw who found them. "They said I put them there," Ava whispered. "I didn't, Mom. I swear." Mia reached for her hand. "I believe you." Ava nodded weakly. "Grandma and Grandpa went to my school. They told the coach. They told parents. Now everyone thinks I'm a thief." Mia felt anger rise inside her. Her daughter wasn't just hurt, she'd been targeted. Mia grabbed her phone and dialed immediately. Her mother answered, cheerful as ever. "Hi, Mia." Mia cut straight through. "Why did you tell people my child stole something?" Her mom sighed theatrically. "Oh, please." Ava took Harper's shoes. "How do you know that?" Mia demanded. "Because she couldn't find them," her mom replied as if that was proof. Her father's annoyed voice joined in. "We handled it." Mia's voice grew sharper. "You called her school with no evidence?" Her mom replied calmly, "Even if she didn't steal, she needs to learn respect." Mia went silent. That sentence changed everything. Mia lowered the phone slowly, her hand trembling with anger she hadn't felt in years. Ava watched her from across the table, eyes red and scared. Mia took a steady breath and knelt beside her. "Listen to me," she said softly. "I believe you. And we're going to fix this." Ava nodded weakly, though she didn't look convinced. Mia spent the night replaying her mother's words. Even if she didn't steal, she needs to learn respect. That wasn't discipline. That was punishment with no purpose. Something deeper was going on, and Mia felt it tightening around her like a warning. The next morning, Mia began making calls. She spoke to the school, the coach, and even a few parents. Every response sounded the same, polite, dismissive, and filled with phrases like, "We were told she took the shoes," or "Your parents were very certain." It infuriated her how confidently a lie could travel. Ava sat curled on the couch, hoodie pulled over her head, jumping every time Mia's phone rang. Seeing her like that broke something inside Mia. She knew explanations wouldn't be enough. She needed someone with authority. Someone who could cut through the noise her parents had created. Mia remembered her grandfather's old attorney, Ms. Parker, a woman he trusted deeply. Without hesitation, she booked an appointment. When they arrived, Ms. Parker greeted Ava with a warm smile. "Sit wherever you're comfortable," she said gently. Ava sat with careful posture as if afraid to take up space. Mia explained everything: Belle's accusation, the school's reaction, the community gossip. Miss Parker listened without interrupting once. When Mia finished, the lawyer folded her hands. "Accusing a child without proof is serious," she said. Ava's eyes flicked up, surprised. For the first time in days, someone believed her openly. Miss Parker leaned forward. "We can send formal letters to the school, the coach, and your parents," she explained. "We'll request written evidence for every action taken against Ava. And if your parents continue spreading false statements, we'll respond legally." Ava whispered, "They can't just lie?" Miss Parker shook her head. "Not without consequences." Then she asked Mia, "Do your parents handle anything official for Ava?" Mia frowned. "No." Miss Parker's expression sharpened slightly. "Then who is managing her trust?" Mia blinked. "What trust?" The lawyer paused. "Your grandfather set up one for her. I'm surprised you weren't told." Mia felt the room tilt. "There is no trust," she whispered. Miss Parker shook her head gently. "There is. I remember drafting it. I'll request documents today." Ava watched quietly, confusion drawn across her face. Mia swallowed hard. Her parents had always told her everything was handled. Now that word felt poisonous. What happens if they refuse to send documents? Mia asked. "Then we escalate," Miss Parker said calmly. "But trust me, they'll respond." As they left the office, Ava slipped her hand into Mia's. It was small, cold, and trembling. For the first time, Mia realized the truth. This was bigger than a missing pair of shoes. 2 days later, Mia's phone rang. Miss Parker's calm voice carried a weight that made Mia sit down instantly. "Your parents finally sent the documents," she said. "There is a trust. It was funded with about $43,000 when your grandfather passed." Mia stared at the wall. "Ava never received anything." "I know," the lawyer replied. "And there's more. Your parents took around $18,000 from the trust over the years, labeled as advances or loans. None repaid." Ava looked up from the table, her spoon paused midair. Mia felt her heartbeat in her throat. Why would they take her money? Miss Parker hesitated before answering. "There's a clause in the trust. A character clause. If the beneficiary is found guilty of theft or dishonest behavior, the trustees can withhold distributions or redirect them." The words hit Mia like cold water. "Redirect? To who?" "Potentially your parents," the lawyer said. "Or another named family branch." Mia closed her eyes. Her mother's obsession with teaching respect, her father's quiet agreement, the speed of their accusations, it all clicked into place like a lock turning. They weren't just punishing Ava. They were building a case. A false one. And hoping it would stick. Ava watched her mother silently, her hands wrapped tightly around her bowl. Mia forced her voice to stay steady. "Send me everything," she told Miss Parker. "Every document. Every withdrawal. Every note." When she hung up, she noticed Ava studying her face carefully, searching for clues. "Am I in trouble?" Ava whispered. "No," Mia said firmly, moving closer. "But they are." That night, Mia documented everything. Every comment, every post, every school message. Ava sat nearby in the living room, legs pulled to her chest. She looked small, tired, and older than 12. Mia promised herself she wouldn't let the world break her child again. The next morning, Mia marched into the assistant principal's office with Ava beside her. She placed the recording Ava had captured, Belle's confession, on the desk. Belle's shaky voice echoed through the room. "I blamed her. I found the shoes later. Grandma told me not to tell. She said it would teach her respect." The assistant principal didn't interrupt. When it ended, he sat still for a moment, then quietly said, "We'll need a copy." No excuses. No defensiveness. Just action. Within hours, Ava's school record was corrected. Her suspension was reversed. Her dance coach called, his voice stiff with discomfort. "Ava can return immediately." That afternoon, Ava sat on her bed holding her dance shoes like they were a fragile reminder of who she used to be. Mia sat beside her. "You know this wasn't your fault, right?" Ava nodded slowly. "Do people believe me now?" "They will," Mia said. "And the ones who don't stop mattering soon." The group chats quieted. Some kids apologized awkwardly. Some didn't. Belle transferred schools before the month ended. No explanation, just absence. Meanwhile, Miss Parker prepared the official trust report. Every dollar missing. Every violation. Every piece of control Mia's parents thought they'd keep. Their silence was growing louder by the day. When the trust report finally arrived, Mia read every line twice. Her parents had used Ava's money to pay bills, fund upgrades to their house, even cover some of Vanessa's family expenses. Mia felt a slow burn rise inside her. These were the same people who lectured Ava about respect. The same people who let a 12-year-old be humiliated publicly. That night, Mia received a call from her mother. "Are you happy now?" her mom snapped. "You're destroying this family." Mia's voice was steady. "No. I'm exposing what you did." Her mother's breath caught. "We were helping ourselves temporarily." Mia didn't respond. Her father grabbed the phone. "This is unnecessary, Mia. We took nothing we can't put back." "You took $18,000 from a child," Mia said quietly. "And you tried to brand her a thief to protect yourselves." There was a long silence on the line. Her mother finally said, "If you keep pushing this, you're not welcome here." Mia exhaled slowly. "We won't be coming back." She ended the call. No shouting. No further explanation. Just a clean final break. Ava walked into the room moments later. "Was that Grandma?" Mia nodded. "Are we going to see them again?" Ava asked softly. "Not for a long time," Mia said. The legal process moved faster than Mia expected. Once the trust violations were reviewed, her parents were ordered to repay the missing funds immediately. They couldn't. Their savings were limited, their expenses high. Vanessa refused to help. Days later, Mia learned from Miss Parker that the house was being listed for sale. "They don't have another option," the lawyer explained. "The money must be returned." Mia didn't smile. She didn't celebrate. She simply nodded. Actions had consequences. Ava sat nearby, swinging her feet. "Does this mean they can't take my money again?" she asked quietly. Mia brushed her hair gently. "No, sweetheart. They won't ever control anything of yours again." A few weeks later, the house sold. The same house where Ava had been called a thief. The same hallway where lies had been born and repeated like gospel. The repayment was made, restoring Ava's trust completely. Mia was named the new trustee. Ava didn't fully understand the legal pieces, but she understood one thing deeply. Her mother fought for her. Life slowly returned to normal. She rejoined her dance team. Her friends started inviting her again. Some kids avoided her, but Ava didn't flinch anymore. She walked into school with her head higher than before, like she had learned something bigger than dance. Meanwhile, the community shifted too. People who once spread gossip avoided eye contact. Parents who had been loud in group chats now stepped aside quietly when Mia walked by. No apologies, just distance. And that was enough. Mia and Ava stayed no contact with her parents. No phone calls. No surprise visits. No guilt-soaked messages. Just silence. One evening, Ava sat at the dining table doing homework. She looked up and said, "Mom, did I do something wrong to make them treat me like that?" Mia shook her head firmly. "No. They treated you that way because they expected you to stay small. But you didn't." Ava rested her pencil on her notebook. "Do you think they ever cared about me?" Mia sat across from her, choosing her words carefully. "I think they cared about control more than love." Ava absorbed that quietly, and something in her posture softened. The next weekend they went out for ice cream. Not to celebrate anything, just to breathe again. As they sat on a bench outside the shop, Ava leaned against her mother. "I don't feel scared anymore," she whispered. Mia kissed the top of her head. "Good. You deserve to feel safe." Ava nodded slowly, like the truth had finally settled inside her. Miss Parker called again a few days later. "Everything is finalized," she said. "Your parents repaid the trust. You're listed as sole trustee now. They have no further authority." Mia exhaled deeply, letting the finality wash over her. "Thank you," she said. "You gave my daughter her life back." Miss Parker chuckled softly. "No. You did. I just filed the paperwork." When Mia hung up, Ava peeked into the kitchen. "Good news." Mia nodded. "The best news." Ava smiled. A real smile this time, not the tight, nervous one she had worn for weeks. It was the first sign that childhood had returned. School looked different for Ava now. She wasn't invisible and she wasn't a target. She existed somewhere in the middle. Noticed, respected, but no longer feared or pitted. One afternoon, her dance coach pulled her aside. "Ava, I owe you an apology," he said. His voice cracked slightly. "I should have asked more questions." Ava shrugged gently. It's okay. But he shook his head. No. It wasn't. Ava walked away with her head held high. She didn't need the apology to heal. She had already done the hardest part, coming back. Mia watched her through the studio window, feeling a wave of pride she couldn't put into words. But not everything healed cleanly. Some parents still whispered. One afternoon at the grocery store, Mia heard two women murmuring near the fruit display. That's the mother, one whispered. The one who threatened everyone. Mia didn't react. She picked up a bag of apples and kept walking. Ava looked up at her. Did you hear them? She asked. Yes, Mia said. Do you care? Ava shook her head. Not anymore. That answer surprised Mia. In the best way. Her daughter wasn't shrinking. She wasn't folding into herself. She was learning something powerful. Other people's opinions don't define the truth. One evening, Ava found an old photo from before everything happened. Her with her grandparents, smiling wide. He stared at it for a long time. Mom, she asked softly, do people change? Mia sat beside her. Sometimes, she said. But not always for the better. Ava nodded slowly, processing it. Will we ever talk to them again? Mia sighed. Maybe one day. But only if they choose honesty over control. Ava slipped the photo into a drawer and closed it gently. I don't miss them, she whispered. Mia reached over, wrapping an arm around her. You don't have to. The next week, Mia received a long message from Vanessa. It was filled with excuses, how stressful things had been, how Belle didn't mean harm, how Mia had overreacted. Not once did she say sorry. Mia showed the message to Ava. What do you think? She asked. Ava read it quietly, then handed the phone back. She still thinks it's my fault. Mia nodded. Yes. That's why we're keeping our distance. Ava didn't argue. She walked to her room and returned a few minutes later with a drawing. It showed her standing tall, holding her dance shoes. This is me now, she said. Mia framed the drawing and hung it in Ava's room. Every time Ava walked past it, she smiled. It became a reminder of everything she overcame. Over the next month, her confidence returned piece by piece. She laughed more. He danced more. He talked nonstop again about school, music, snacks, everything she used to love. One afternoon she rushed into the living room. Mom, I'm doing a solo next showcase. Mia gasped. A solo. Ava nodded proudly. Coach said I'm ready. That moment felt like a door swinging open. The girl who had once slumped through hallways now moved like she owned every room she entered. The night of the showcase arrived. The gym was filled with parents, students, and teachers. Some who had doubted her, some who hadn't. Ava stepped onto the stage, lights catching the shimmer of her costume. She didn't look nervous. She looked steady, confident. When the music began, she moved gracefully, every step strong and precise. Mia watched with tears in her eyes. This wasn't just a performance. It was a reclaiming. When Ava finished, the room erupted in applause. Not polite applause, real, enthusiastic applause. Ava bowed, cheeks glowing. She looked at Mia, who mouthed, I'm proud of you, and meant every word. After the show, kids crowded around Ava. Some congratulated her. Others asked how she learned certain moves. She smiled shyly but didn't hide behind anyone. Meanwhile, Mia stood back, watching her daughter shine. For the first time, the whispers weren't about the rumor. They were about Ava's talent. Her resilience. Her strength. On the drive home, Ava held her bouquet tightly. Mom, she said softly. If they hadn't lied about me, I wouldn't have learned how strong I am. Mia felt her throat tighten. You shouldn't have had to learn that way, she whispered. Ava looked at her. But I did. That night, as Ava slept peacefully for the first time in months, Mia sat alone in the living room. She thought about everything they had survived. The accusations, the lies, the trust violations, the humiliation. It struck her that she never needed revenge. The truth had done the job. Actions had pulled her parents down, not her anger. Mia realized something comforting. She didn't owe them forgiveness. She didn't owe them access. She only owed her daughter protection and peace. As she turned off the lights, she whispered to herself, we're free now. And for the first time she believed it. The next morning, Mia woke up to sunlight filling the kitchen. Ava sat at the table eating cereal, humming softly, a sound Mia hadn't heard in so long. You seem happy today, Mia said with a smile. Ava shrugged playfully. Maybe I am. Later that afternoon they took a walk around the neighborhood. A couple of parents waved shyly, offering awkward smiles. Ava didn't hide or shrink, she waved back politely. Mia noticed the shift. People weren't sure how to approach them anymore, now that the truth had surfaced. But Ava walked calmly beside her mother, not needing anyone's approval. That evening Mia received an email from Ms. Parker. Final confirmation. Trusteeship transferred. Case closed. The words felt like a weight lifted from her chest. She closed the laptop and walked into Ava's room. Ava was sitting cross-legged on the floor, drawing again. Mia sat beside her. Everything is official now, she said gently. Ava looked up. So they can't take anything anymore? No, Mia answered. Everything you have is protected. Ava nodded, satisfied. Then she returned to her drawing, adding bright colors and bold lines. Every stroke looked like hope, like a child rebuilding her world on her own terms. A week later, Mia ran into an elderly woman at the local bakery who had once been close to her parents. The woman hesitated before speaking. I heard what happened, she said softly. I didn't know the truth. Mia nodded politely. Most people didn't. The woman sighed. Your daughter is brave. I hope she knows that. Mia offered a small smile. She does now. As Mia left, she realized something important. The narrative had shifted. People were no longer whispering about a rumor. They were whispering about resilience. And not every apology would be spoken aloud, but the silence had changed tone. Ava's teacher called to check in. She's doing well, she said warmly. More confident. More vocal. Mia exhaled with relief. Thank you for telling me. After school, Ava bounced into the car. Guess what? I got picked to help lead warm-ups today. Mia gasped. Really? That's amazing. Ava giggled. Coach said I have good energy again. Mia smiled the entire drive home. These moments, small but powerful, were reminders of how much healing had taken root. Ava wasn't just recovering. She was growing, blooming in spaces where she had once been afraid to stand. That weekend, Mia and Ava visited Mia's grandfather's old property, now owned by someone else but still filled with memories. Ava stood under the large oak tree where her great-grandfather used to watch her dance. Do you think he'd be proud? She asked. Mia wrapped an arm around her. He'd be proud of how strong you are. How honest. How brave. Ava closed her eyes and let the breeze brush across her face. For a moment the world felt peaceful. No whispers. No accusations. Just truth and quiet strength. I miss him, Ava said softly. Mia nodded. I do too. Driving home, Ava stared out the window. Mom, are you sad about Grandma and Grandpa? Mia thought carefully before answering. I'm sad about what they chose. But I'm not sad about the distance. Some space is healthy. Ava nodded. I don't hate them, she said. But I don't trust them either. Mia reached over and squeezed her hand. Trust is earned. They haven't earned it back. Ava didn't reply, but the clarity in her expression said enough. She wasn't confused anymore. She wasn't blaming herself. She understood the difference between family and people who simply shared a name. A few days later, Ava received a card in the mail. It was from Vanessa. The message inside was short. Hope you're doing better. Things got messy. Let's move on. Ava stared at it for a moment, then handed it to Mia. What does she want? Mia shrugged. Probably for everything to go back to normal. Ava considered that quietly, then shook her head. Normal hurt me. Mia smiled sadly. Then we don't go back. Ava tore the card gently in half, not out of anger but closure. I like our life now, she whispered. Mia hugged her. So do I. Spring arrived slowly, painting the town in bright greens. One afternoon, Ava performed again, this time at a community event. The audience was larger, louder, filled with kids and parents who now knew the full story. When Ava stepped onto the stage, she didn't hesitate. She danced with joy, not fear. Afterward, a woman approached Mia. Your daughter is remarkable, she said. She didn't let them break her. Mia's eyes softened. No, she didn't. As they walked back to the car, Ava slipped her hand into Mia's. I feel like myself again, she said. Mia squeezed her hand. Good. That evening they sat on the couch eating popcorn and watching movies. Ava leaned against her mother. "Mom," she said quietly, "do you think everything that happened made me stronger?" Mia brushed a strand of hair from her forehead. "Yes," she said. "But strength shouldn't come through suffering. You were strong before all of this. You just didn't know it yet." Ava smiled softly. "I know it now." Mia kissed the top of her head. "And that's what matters." The house felt warm, calm, safe. Everything Mia had fought so fiercely to give her daughter. Months passed and life settled into something steady and bright. Ava thrived in school, danced with confidence and laughed freely. Mia built a home without fear, without manipulation, without constant justification. They spoke openly, healed openly, lived openly. One afternoon, Ava looked up from her homework and said, "Mom, thank you for fighting for me." Mia felt her chest tighten. "I'll always fight for you." Ava nodded. "I know." And as the sun set outside their window, painting their living room in gold, Mia realized the truth. She didn't just win a battle. She broke a cycle. And her daughter would never go through it again.